Hello, so as you might guess from the title of the stream and what I'm wearing, the Romanian M85 came today. Now, it actually seems quite a good mask, but I'm not going to keep it on that long in the stream. Actually, I'll take it off to begin with, and then I'll put it back on in a minute. Because this is actually obviously unissued, and it had a load of polystyrene in it. So the issue is, I'm almost inhaling the polystyrene now, where there's still some of it in the mask, where they'd use polystyrene to actually, but funnily enough, I think the Romanians have made a better version of the M65 than the Germans did, which is kind of funny. But there you go. I still think the Israeli M15 is the best version. But yeah, the M85 actually seems really good in terms of like strap quality and rubber quality and everything else. So well done to Romania. Also, the filter is really interesting for this because it actually says the gases it protects from on the side and how long it protects from. Have a look at that. Obviously, it's not in English. I assume it's Romanian, but so I guess that's hydrogen sulfide or something. 5 mg. It will last for 60 minutes, and then there's quite a different thing. Chlor, is that chlorine? 10 mg for 20 minutes. Phosgen, I guess that is phosgene. 20 mg would last 30 minutes. Chlorcian, not sure what that is, unless that's chlorine, and that's 3 mg for 10 minutes. That eats through the filter pretty quickly. There's literally a GP5M up there. Well, as far as I'm aware, because these are actually made on license, it's basically like the German Zivel Schutz filter, just a Romanian-made one. Weirdly, I think this only expired in 2006 by the look of it. So this is actually quite a modern filter with this. Although, looking at the insides of it, it still looks like a retro old Soviet filter. So how safe this filter is, I don't know, looking at the inside there. I don't know if that's really going to show up on the webcam, but I'm still going to risk it anyway, but it's quite a modern filter. That's all right. But yeah, it's made from quite a flexible rubber, as you might be able to see. It sort of wobbles about. But yeah, it's quite surprising when you end up getting a Romanian gas mask and it ends up being better quality than the mask it's a clone from, which is always weird. Avon CT12. I've not tested the drinking tube system or anything yet. Looking at it, it looks very similar to the Israeli M15 one and the one that the Polish MP4 MP5 has, whether or not it's the same. I assume it's NATO. I've not tried different filters on it yet, just the one that came with it, but I'm assuming because they bought it under license, it's actually NATO rather than GOST. I would say the GP5 is not a good prepping mask, as I've said several times for different reasons. There was kind of a video talking about that just the other day, so. Do you know what model of gas mask it was, James? It depends on the quality of the mask, I guess, but obviously you have them for not a very pleasant reason, that you might need them to protect you from chemical weapons. Anyway, I'll put this back on again now. Oh, it looks like YouTube's demonetized my stream already, with only a couple of minutes in. Maybe the words Romania is demonetized, I don't know. But yeah. Monetization is off. Let's see if I can manually turn it on. And put an ad break in. Will it work? I don't know. Probably not. Anyway, they did demonetize my GP5 video the other day as well. So I can make videos on radiation, they're never demonetized. Make a video on a gas mask, again, demonetized instantly. You already said thanks for making an S10. Oh, do you mean stream? Do you mean just regular videos? Normally it's normal videos on the S10. But anyway, I'll put this back on again. So it's got a weird kind of rubbery feeling strap that I don't think is rubber for the neck strap. Probably done that up too tight, but yeah. It's actually quite a good mask. Look at the title of the video, Peach. Probably FN My House. Does it have a drinking tube on? James, that's a good way of working it out. But I suppose if you're asking historically, there's not much way of knowing, but what's the wrong way around? Pretty sure that's the way you wear a mask, not turned inside out. That's what it looks like on the inside for anybody interested. I said they had this bit of polystyrene in their in the oral nasal cup to keep it in shape. But the issue is it's left polystyrene in the mask now. I had quite a few other bits arrive today in the post, so I'll show you all those. So there's the M85 that I'll obviously do a proper video on in the test. If it's drinking tube and a voice diaphragm, that's the M17A2. If it's got the resuscitation tube on it, it's the A1. If it's not got a drinking tube or a resuscitation tube, it's the original M17. So I had all these arrive. Every single one is painted with radium, so I'm very happy about that. Just lots and lots of old plain dials. I get them to just sort of spread out in the bag. But yeah. Radium everywhere and not a drop to drink. What will happen if I put them on the camera like this, I don't know. Will it start flashing through white? I don't know, but they're definitely radium coated because I tested every single one with a Geiger counter. So that's pretty cool. They pretty much all look like that except one, and the one that doesn't look like that is the most radioactive. Let's see if I can figure out which one that was. This one was pretty radioactive, but you can see on this one they actually didn't skimp on the radium paint at all because it's really brown looking. Let's just get the although saying that, the paint doesn't look like radium there, so I reckon they've repainted this one at some point. But even when they repainted it, it's still got the original radium on it. Because they did tend to repaint these dials quite a few times to keep them in service. So, but I said every single one's definitely radioactive. But the most radioactive one is this one by a fucking mile. Let's get a light on that one. Oh yeah, I can just see why. See all that speckled stuff? That's the radium, look. Look at all that radium residue, Jesus Christ. See that? That is kind of really cool looking, but also quite creepy. So yeah, the reason this looks speckled is that's where they spilt radium on it. If I hold it up like that, does it glow? Because to my eye, it's quite glowy, but... This one, though, isn't actually as hot as some of my RAF dials, but it's got a lot of radium on it. But yeah, that's why it looks that weird green colour, because it's got all that radium on it, and just to prove that. So yeah, that one's very contaminated. Good, that's what I want. But yeah, all of these have some radium paint on them to an extent, because if you get them and do this, because I went through every single one individually. But some certainly more than others. So yeah, that's that. So that's pretty cool. I had another British World War II compass come, which I did a video on, taking the lens out. I also had these two come. Sorry, not the lens. British World War II compass, taking the mirror with the radium paint out, but the video won't be live for like a month. So yeah, that one's very contaminated, this dial. And also an old Soviet dial. And we all know what kind of paint that is, don't we? So yeah, having a look on there. I reckon this one is another repainted dial, where the original radium stuff's still on there, but not all of it is radium. So I reckon that green paint is the stuff they've repainted. The stuff that doesn't glow very well, I reckon, is the original radiation stuff. That was a Geiger counter I was just showing. Oh, that's good, Radiation King. So yeah, there's that. That one, the MiG dial. Or I don't know if it's from a MiG or what, but it's pretty cool. And then, yeah, here's another old RAF dial. That's definitely radium paint on this one. Notice it doesn't really glow at all anymore because the radium's so old, but it does do that weird kind of creepy faint green when you put UV directly on it. But yeah, to demonstrate this, see you, Mr. Ginge. So yeah, to demonstrate this one, yeah, as it's an old RAF dial, very hot, and this old Soviet one. Again, not as hot, but still there. But yeah, the old RAF ones are really hot. The only thing bit worrying with this RAF dial, I don't know if it will show up on the stream, but I'll show it as best I can, is that what model was it, Dutch Ball? Because some might be a bit shit, but if it works, it works. That's cool. We've got a Stelhelm. Yeah. The dodgy thing with this one, right, that bit's fine, but see all around the edge of the glass there, what do you think that brown dust is? Because, yeah, the brown dust on here is not something you want to get in your lungs. If it wants to focus. Come on, webcam. Good thing I didn't sneeze on it, but I don't think it wants to focus. Yep, Mike knows. I mean, Mike's watches a lot of these videos, so of course he'd know, but yeah. But yeah, it's where the dial is obviously, you can see the radium is falling off the dial, and then it's just getting stuck around the edge of the glass. So yeah, to show that, if I get this, as you can hear, yeah, the entirety of the side of the dial is pretty hot. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with all the radioactive stuff I had come in the post today. Wow, how do I get it? I buy it on eBay, and most sellers don't even know these are radioactive. Yeah, but what sort of capacity does the tube have, and is it shielded? Is it just one of those DIY Geiger counters? Because if it's one of those, it's not too bad. I've got one in the background, look, but just bear in mind, you know, It doesn't have a display or anything on that one, but they're alright for what they are. You should know my real name by now. This Liam. But yeah, so pretty hot. Well, I don't know if it's DIY because I don't know what you've bought, do I? Other than you just saying you've bought a Geiger counter. But yeah. Oh, and another thing came that is really, really cool. I've got one already in operation, but old Cold War Soviet ship. It's the late model Soviet dosimeters. I think they're called ID1s. And it doesn't even need a battery in to charge it. So you've got your kit of dosimeter pens and that. I've got one already in operation, testing it works. So what you do, you get your dosimeter pen out, pop the dosimeter pen into here, and then you need to angle it so the mirror inside is looking at a light source to reflect light back up into the dosimeter. So I'll just do it on here on the desk for now. But just need to get that mirror correct. I'll probably need to put a torch shining at the mirror to get enough light on it. But there we go. I'll just show the camera to that because I reckon I can actually show you on webcam what these dosimeter pens look like using this one because of how well the mirror works with the light. If I can get the angle right. Almost. Oh, yeah, that was almost it then. Let's see if I can angle it more that way like that. Can I do it from underneath? Let me just flip the mirror to the other angle. See if I can do it that way so it's not shining in my face. Yeah, there we go. So this one goes up to 500 rads. But anyway, what you do is you get this, you get the light shining onto the mirror. You push it down onto the thing, and this is piezoelectric charge, so you can charge it without even having a battery in it. So I'll just charge this one. I think I need to fully uncharge that bit and then do it, because I think I've got that as far as it will go down on the screw. So let's try again. Yeah, there we go. I can finally see the line on this one. Let me just pull it out and reset the thing. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream. I don't know, Orange Bear. Maybe you've not got a good enough connection. Put the quality lower. Let me just now finish that one off. This one isn't really charging very well, but maybe it's just a bad dosimeter pen. Oh, there we go. It's charging now. Now pull it off there. Wonderful. I've got it exactly right. Although, no, saying that, this one obviously has a bad battery in because it's already discharging itself. Looking at that, the line is moving on its own. If I can get that with the camera, you know, the light through it properly. which is like never seems to be possible on webcam. Yeah, that one, see the line? That one's obviously auto-discharging because it's nearly already at 100 rads. So yeah, I'll put this pen on the pile of it doesn't work pens. But yeah, the first one I tried definitely worked fine. So this one, this is a good sign. This one's already got a line on it, which means, you know, it should be possible to get this one to charge properly. So I'll get it to the 0, the mark right of 0, and then pull it out. Yeah, there we go. So that one's charged. No, they are nothing to binoculars. They're radiation detecting devices. They're called dosimeter pens. How they work, you put them in a charger, you charge it to 0, whatever the reading is. I'm getting rid of that troll that was on the other day that was pissing people off Mike because he's already started again on this one. But yeah, so what these are is they're called radiation dosimeter pens, and basically they detect gamma radiation. And what they do is once the radiation gets in, moves the needle, and then basically, you know, you can hold it up to the light and check. I'll do a video on all of these soon because I've got quite a few different types now. I've got this type, the DKP50s, the US CDV series, the British Army ones, and I've got one which sadly does not fit on any of my chargers, but goes up to 500 Rontgen. Well, obviously, I didn't buy the M85 to not do videos on it. And about the EDC video, it'll be out in about a month, because any videos I film now come out in about a month's time. So asking me over and over again isn't going to make it come out faster. I wonder, though, saying that this one's worked anyway, so I'll put that back in the charger, the box. I wonder if you can actually just hold it up to the ceiling light this way. Like if it's like that, would that work? Or do you have to kind of do it on a flat surface? So I know obviously with the point of the mirror is that you angle it towards the light, but I just wondered if it's possible without a really bright sort of torch shining directly on it. Because that would seem the best option with something like this. But... oh yeah, you can do it with a ceiling light, that's good to know. Just get that to the brightest point. Going the wrong way. I need to reset this. The only annoying thing of this, because it's a piezoelectric charged one, you have to keep unscrewing it. It's not one where you can just, you know, indefinitely keep turning it right. Yeah, the M85 is good. I like it. I've shown quite a lot of tech so far in the stream, so at the moment I'm just recharging dosimeter pens with a manual charger. Because good old Soviet engineering. So let's see if I can now get this recharge. Can't work out if this one's charging or not. Oh yeah, I can just about see the needle now. But yeah, the idea that they invented something where you can use a mirror to reflect light into a dosimeter pen and then use a piezoelectric charge to charge one is fucking ingenious. I know the Americans made one like this, but the American one is far bulkier and it looks like a gun, where you have to keep pulling a trigger on it, and they're really expensive, whereas these are like $30 to $50 for the complete set. Because, I mean, why would you not want to buy, you know, a crate of dosimeters with a charger? Yeah, I don't like the tank controls of the old Resident Evil games. They were fine for what they were at the time, but, you know, I'm glad that now Capcom, they're doing the remakes. They're actually, making them more accessible, or, just play better, really, in all honesty. And there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Although this pen is still being a bitch to charge, and I don't know particularly why. Yeah. Dosimeter charges are pretty fascinating things. I'll show you the filter I've got on it, Andre. I don't know if it's the original filter, but it's a cool Romanian filter. So look at this. It shows you different gases and how long the filter lasts against different gases and different concentrations. Let me get that out of the way. So I guess that's more modern, but, cool filter regardless. Well, the filter's not in English. No, it's not, but you can understand it pretty easily, or you could just use Google Translator. But let me guess what some of these are. Hydrogen sulfurat, I guess that's hydrogen sulfide, or hydrogen sulfate. Bioxide dissolve, something else to do with sulfate. Phosgen, that'll be phosgene. Chlor, that's probably chlorine. Acidic chlorhidic, I guess that's some sort of chlorine-based acidic gas. Acidic cyanhydric, I guess that's acidic cyanide gas. Benzene, I'd imagine. Oxyazot, I really don't know what that one is. Acid acetic, some sort of acetate acid, I don't know, it could be anything really. Sulfuridocarbon, some sort of carbon-based poison, I guess. Acrinoterylly, maybe that's arsenic, I don't know. Chlorcian, I should imagine that might be cyanide, that one. Right, just have a guess what some of these are, or you can translate them. I mean, Google Translate could do it as well, but, some of them are very obvious because they're quite similar to the English words, but I always like it when they say stuff like this, so you actually know how good the filter is. I suppose this is the filter thing of like saying 3A body armor on the side, isn't it? Come on, focus. Focus. There you go. I suppose getting one Rontgen in 7 hours isn't too bad. Have you made sure it doesn't discharge on its own, though? No, it wouldn't say what's in the filter, because a filter wouldn't contain poisons. What this is saying is the concentrations of certain things, how long the filter will last against them. I can figure that out, even though I can't speak Romanian. Because they're not going to put chlorine, phosgene, sulfuric acids, are they, inside a filter? It's telling you different concentrations, how long they last. But anyway, you'll see it properly on the full video I do of it. Yeah, just check, Stefan, that your DKP50s don't discharge anyway, because a lot of dosimeter pens I have, some of them will discharge slowly over time anyway. But yeah, it could be that, yeah, exactly, that 7 hours, so it's giving just over 100 millirontgen per hour. So, you know, in 7 hours it adds up to 1 Rontgen, but it's hard to say really without, you know, actually knowing. But I wonder if you can actually use a mobile phone screen to get enough light to view this. That'd be interesting. But yeah, doesn't seem to be. Yeah, this is pretty fascinating, this thing. Just the fact that the Soviets made something that doesn't even need a battery to charge dosimeters from. Oh, yeah, that is starting to charge, this one now. Let's just push him down and turn it a bit more. Oh, that's good, Mike. So it actually gives you a decent bit from that. It's like at least 10%, isn't it? Got to 200 rad on this one now. That's cool, Orange Bear. Can you bring in files and like print them off if you wanted to do like a gas mask type thing? Haven't you watched any videos for like a month or so? Alexandru, if that's how your name's pronounced. Because it's been there for a couple of months at this point. I'm just going to see if I can get this fully charged out looking. Well, I think the Romanian M85 is actually pretty good now that I've got it. Yeah. Oh, have I overcharged this now? Interesting, because I can't see the thing. I mean, what I should do is just keep the flashlight on to charge these, because then I can put it on the desk, you know, and do it properly that way. Ah, no, there we go. There's the line. Right, there we go. That one's fully charged, and it doesn't appear to be discharging unless it's discharging at a very slow rate. So yeah, that's good. That works. Yeah, but I still wouldn't rely on an old filter like that. If you're on about the old Yugoslavian ones, it's like good yours works or appears to work, but don't rely on it. Right, time to test the next one and see if this one works. Well, good news as well. This one still has a rad needle visible on it, so I assume this is a working one. Yeah, and this one doesn't appear to be discharging on its own, at least not obviously. So that's good. This is the first time I've ever actually bought a kit full of dosimeter pens, you know, rather than just buying a bulk few on eBay at a time. So it's quite weird for me actually, you know, testing a load at once rather than I'm going to reset the thing again. I saw there were blue ones for sale, but they were more expensive, so I would rather, you know, just pay like 30 odd quid or what I did or whatever to get a black one and spend loads more money on a blue one. Right, is this one working? Yeah, this one appears to be working as well. Good. So we've only had one dud so far out of the 6 I've tested. 4 more to go. Now, is this discharging or not? I can't tell. I think it's all right, but it's quite hard to tell on this one. Don't know why this one isn't very clear, the display on it. Don't know if that's sort of a bit of grime at one end. Yeah, it seems to be working. The self-discharging dosimeters, sometimes you can literally hit them with a stick and they'll work. So funny you say that, but I'll get back to the chat in a minute. I'm just doing these dosimeters for the time being. This is weirdly entertaining. Doing Pascat helmet, where are you looking? If you mean that helmet, no. It's the modern British Army one, so it's better than the Pascat. Right, see you, Andre, if you're off. I think this one might be discharging. No, maybe it's all right. Right, let me just put this back and then do it again. I think it just looks like a retro gas mask to me. I'm pretty sure the sign's older than the game, rather than it being the other way around. Yeah, there we go. I think I've finally got that into its calibration region. Yeah, some of these are certainly easier to see than others. I don't particularly know why that is, but it doesn't appear to be discharging. Right, Mike. It's possible to get one. It would probably cost you a lot and you'd need to look after it. I don't have one. I don't plan on getting one. Right, 2 more to do and then that's all of these done. I need to turn that back round this way again. Right. There's an MM1 right there if you're looking in that corner, yeah. Right, that's that one done fine. So far, I mean, whether or not there's some that will discharge over the period of a few hours, there's only been 1 dud in this set so far. So that's good. Oh, this one's got a really nice clear, what's it? I'm trying to think of the word for it. No, that M17 guy you didn't, but that's really fucking cool. What, an original World War II one? Or like one of the ones from just after World War II? That's fucking cool regardless. Yeah, the only thing I don't like with this is the fact that you can only do the piezoelectric so far one way, then you have to keep unscrewing it again. I guess try again. And that's the last one done. Yeah, the M85 seems very good. So, is this one going to work, or is this another self-discharger? It seems to be stuck on 0 for the time being. Let me just flick a bit more charge into him. And I can test it now this way. So I'll put that on the desk for now because I'm not entirely sure. So far, this one has been the only dud. The airsoft thing gets asked every stream. I can't even be fucking answered to keep re-answering it now. Go on eBay, type in S10, plenty for sale on there. If not, type in ebay.co.uk. But yeah, so far this has been the only one that's not worked properly. Now, what I am interested in then is what happens if I plug it into a charger it was not designed for and raise the power that way. If it will fit on this charger. That's another thing to bear in mind. I don't reckon it's going to fit on the British Army one. These are probably very happy Romanians that I've got a Romanian gas mask, finally. Maybe. I don't know, Peach. But yeah, I have no idea what they're saying, and I'm not going to translate it. I've had a Romanian car for a while because I've had a Dacia. Oh, it's not going to fit on that one, look, because it's got a weird triangular thing. Oh. At least I don't think it's going to work. I wonder, though, because this is the slightly dodgy one, is it possible to get this bit of plastic out the bottom? This is the M85. A mask my Romanian subscribers have been asking me to buy for yonks, and I've finally got one, because there's finally some that turned up for not stupid money on eBay. So, yep, I can fuck this bit off. That's good. The only reason I'm breaking this bit off is because I already have a load of these decimeter pens, and this is the only one that doesn't seem to be working. So as far as I'm concerned, this bit of plastic can fuck off, and then, you know, I can either salvage it or I can't. But for somebody going, oh no, you're breaking a Soviet antique. Yeah, so what I want to do is just break this bit of plastic off so I can at least try and charge that on other decimeters. But if this is the only one that doesn't work, that's bloody good buying a set of like 10 and getting 9 that work perfectly. Plus the charger for like $50 or whatever it was. So yeah, there's this old fragile sort of plastic on there. And that's slowly coming off. What the fuck's going on in the chat now? Just block him, Peach. I'm just going to block him now because he's obviously doing it to be a prick. Yeah, he's gone. The only reason we ask people to speak English on here is because we're English and we are uneducated and we can't speak foreign languages. So that's to you, Billy Johnson. No, I do not think my language is superior, but English is a pretty commonly spoken language. So if you were trying to join in the conversation with somebody who speaks English, it's not worth speaking to them in another language, is it? I'm not having a go at you, Beza. I know you were speaking a language that wasn't English, but, you know, it was just a guy who was having a go at us because we asked people to speak in English. Now Diana's being rude as well. No need for that. My car's a Dacia. I like my Dacia. Yeah, as I thought, underneath this plastic it's a good old-fashioned dosimeter type charger anyway. So let's get at this. Look at that, look. Now let's see if it works on an American charger. I ripped the plastic off. If not, I'm going to have to amputate some more, but I reckon this will go on eventually. Right. Yeah. Right, block him then. If he's being a dick, Mike, just block anyone that's being rude, no matter what language they're speaking. Probably is the best policy, I reckon. Why did they bother putting this plastic on the bottom of this one? I have no clue, when it's pretty much fundamentally the same as a DKP 50 under. The only thing I'm wondering is if they put this plastic under there just simply as a thing so it's harder to accidentally discharge the dosimeter. Because, like, the only thing I'm thinking is it a bit like a DKP 50 where it's got that screw-on thing to protect the end bit from being discharged by accident. Looks like we're getting a load of trolls on this stream, apparently. Here I am, trying to crack open a Soviet dosimeter, and there's people insulting each other over their languages. How? Sometimes, Tyler, you just end up getting, like, trolling raids on streams. I think that's all it is people just trying to virtue signal and be cunts, basically. That's my opinion, anyway. I've almost got all this plastic shit off. It's got the voice diaphragm, but I don't think it's actually got an electric voice projection unit for it, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just got a little plastic cover. It's attached to the voice diaphragm by the look of it. But you've been missing all the drama, Chris. We've had loads of people insulting each other over languages tonight. So, that's a weird fucking thing. At the moment, I'm playing with the late-gen Soviet dosimeters, which are really, really fucking cool. But yeah, basically these things, where the Soviets at the end of the Cold War made a dosimeter charger that can be charged, which charges dosimeters without even needing a battery by reflecting sunlight up and using a piezoelectric thing to charge them. But yeah, the interesting thing as well is every single one, except my Fat Yank one that doesn't fit on any of my dosimeter chargers, you can actually charge on this. I'll need to get a light shining back on it again, annoyingly. But yeah, so take, for example, a Soviet DKP 50, like the older gen dosimeter. Let me set that to 0 Rontgen. There we go. That's now set to 0 Rontgen, although I doubt you'll be able to see it on the webcam. There we go. You can just about see I've reset it to 0 Rontgen. But yeah, the bloody cool thing of this is it seems every single dosimeter pen except one I've got all fit in this charger, which is really kind of good if you wanted to just buy a cheap dosimeter charger that comes with dosimeters, and you can charge pretty much any country's dosimeters on them. Anyway, let's see soon if I can break enough of the plastic off of the broken one to get it to fit into other nations' dosimeter chargers. Because, yeah, if you look under this, the plastic is just kind of a weird bit they've stuck on. It doesn't really serve any purpose. So if I can get that off, what's left of the plastic. There we go. Right, now I reckon this will actually work on different chargers. I reckon they just stuck that on there because they didn't trust soldiers not to discharge their own dosimeter pens, which would kind of make sense, but it's still a stupid thing to do. Right, if I can now actually get this onto a charger, let's see. I might still have to break off some more of this first. No, it doesn't seem to fit on there. Let's see if I can fit on the British one. Well, have we got even more coming on? Anybody asking political questions at this point is just going to get blocked because there's obviously some sort of troll raid going on. So, you know, all I'm doing is trying to charge dosimeter pens while I'm chatting with you. You have to be rude, don't you? All right. I'm currently taking pliers to some Soviet tech. Yeah, it's turned into a very weird stream, hasn't it? So it started off being, I've got an M85 now, which is pretty cool because my Romanian viewers have been asking me for ages to get a Romanian gas mask. And then it's turned into people insulting each other because, you know, how dare you not speak my language? Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it, Mike. Yeah, exactly. So, like Richard said, you can either have a comment that doesn't translate properly, so you don't know what they intended by it, you know, or you get a comment which, yeah, you can't tell immediately if they're talking about stuff that's legal or illegal or, you know, allowed to be discussed or whatever. How much was what? The Romanian M85, the Oki? I think about £40 with the complete kit and postage. Well, as Chris says, it doesn't have the VPU or anything, but as in, you know, the satchel, the filter, the drinking tube, you know, the mask. If you mean the Soviet dosimeter charger, when I translated it, I think it was about £40 to £50 because I think it was like $50, and that was for, what was it, 10 dosimeters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10 dosimeters and a dosimeter charger, and only one of those doesn't seem to work, which is the one I'm now taking the wire cutters to at the moment to see if I can, you know, mess about with it and do anything with it. Oh, there we go. Look, see? That plastic literally was an anti-tampering. That's all they'd fucking done. Right. Okay, let's see if I can charge it now using a non-Russian charger. The only reason I want to try it on a non-Russian one is I want to see what happens if I volt this up with a, you know, retro kind of DC voltage one. Now, will it fit on the Yank charger? Or is it going to be slightly too fat to fit on there? I reckon that might be ever so slightly too fat. Bugger. Oh no, here we go. It is working. There we go. You can do it with an American charger with enough effort. So, yeah, there we go. You won't be able to see that very well through the webcam, but probably won't see it at all. But yeah, works on an American charger. Is it still discharging itself? Yes, right. Now let's see if the good old-fashioned method of fixing broken Soviet tech works with this. Ready? Right, now let's try charging it again. Because this sometimes actually works for these. You won't be on Twitch tonight. Okay, Mike. I might as well recharge it using that Yank one. So I can do it just using electrical signals. Depends how good the particulate bit of the particle filter is. I don't know what the size of virus particles are. Right, now that's still discharging at the minute, so I don't want to do that on my knuckles because it fucking will hurt because it's a big bit of metal. Just trying to do it in some way without making loads of noise. Right, let's see if that worked. All right, sounds good, Mike. So if anybody's wondering why I'm hitting this, it's because it's discharging itself at the moment. And sometimes with Soviet tech, if you hit these, it fixes them. I'm still doing it, but I'll hit it some more off stream. I mean, I could fully disassemble this if I really wanted to, because it might be quite cool to have a disassembled one of these when I get round to doing a video on them. I'll probably do that, actually. Whether or not it's a good idea for me to do it on a stream is another question, but the point sort of being with these that basically what I want to do is, because this one is one that's discharging itself, basically of dosimeter pens. If you don't know how they work, I'll give you a really quick rundown before I finish the stream, because I wasn't even planning on streaming this long tonight anyway. Yep, I've done a video on the DP5V. Whether or not it's live or not, I don't know yet. But yes, I do have a DP5V. Is it worth €70? If you get the full kit and it's in working condition, probably yes. But bear in mind, you still have a lot of the limitations with it you have with old military Geiger counters. You're probably going to have to run it off a 12-volt battery because you can't get the obsolete batteries for it anymore. It's not a gas mask, war videos, it's a Geiger counter. Oh, sorry, you're applying to somebody else. I thought you were applying to T72 then. I like my DP5. I'm looking at it now, but I can't be asked to go get him. But in all honesty, the Terra P at the moment is by far my favourite Geiger counter. So I'm kind of the opinion at the moment, if you want to get a Geiger counter, get about €150 and buy a Terra P, just because they're so much more practical than the old ones. If you don't know what the Terra P is, it's this one I've been doing a lot with recently. I know about them, Radiation King, because as I've said before, I quite like to buy one if one turns up cheap enough when I've got a shitload of money, because it'd be cheaper than buying a house. But sadly, I've never actually visited one in person. I've been to Calvert and Hatch, though, but that's like a massive nuke bunker, that one. Yeah, I know it's Royal Observer Corps. Right, see you, Rich. I'll be off in a couple of minutes anyway. But yeah, as this one isn't currently working, I'll probably use this as the one to cut open and disassemble to demonstrate in a video how these actually work. But if I got interrupted before, I previously said basically how the dosimeter pens work is when fully charged, they have a radiation reading on them. There we go, it's coming apart now. I'm using pliers or wire cutters. And how they essentially work is they have a little ionization chamber in them, and as you discharge the battery, it basically, well, radiation discharges the battery at a percentage rate to what the radiation is. So it's pretty clever in that regard. There's a little ring, look, that's come off. Now, can I pull everything out? Will it come out with pliers now? Or can I push it out? Let's take that bit off this end. Oh, that's snapped actually, so I'll bin that little clip off this one anyway because it's snapped. So now some of these pull out one way or they push out the other. So it's which way this one does, I don't know. No, I've not been to Hat Green. That's another one like Calvert and Hatch, isn't it? One of the really big ones. But no, I've not been there. But it's the sort of thing I'd like to visit at some point. But, you know, it's getting around to doing all those things, isn't it? Now I've actually taken that collar off, is it easier or harder to charge? Let's have a look. It's just harder to charge. So this little collar is part of the bit you need to charge it. I don't suppose I can, I was going to say, get that in, fit it in the one I've got. Just interested now if there's any way of rigging this one with one of these collars to actually charge it. And now the issue with this one, isn't it, is it's just I don't have anything deep enough to get to the bellows. Wow. With these sort of chargers, they charge instantly. Unless you mean the Therapy, that doesn't recharge. It has, you just basically put disposable AAA batteries in and they last about a year at background radiation. Less time at higher radiation doses. Yeah, what I want to see now is how I can get this one out of here. But as I said, I'll be going off the stream already. I've already done one, learn how to search old videos. I'm getting quite fed up at the moment, in all honesty, with people that don't look at old videos and then keep asking me to do things I've already done. I'm just trying to figure out which way these disassemble. Well, I think there's a Dexter's Lab video where he actually disassembled one of these, but they basically charge instantly. With a piezoelectric charger, you just have to do that a load of times to get them to charge. With an electric charger, pretty much instantly, because the battery is such a low kind of capacity battery, it's pretty much a case of putting it on the contact it's charged. Right, see ya. Yeah, that's fine. It's just recently on streams I've been getting a lot of people that get funny because they'll ask me for videos that I've already done, you know, that sort of thing. What type of dosimeters, war videos? Ones like this, eBay. I'd probably recommend you just do what I did just now and buy a kit like this with the charger and loads of them. That way, if you get one or two pens like this one that don't work, it's like, you know, you've got one or two bad pens out the lot rather than just buying a bulk couple of pens and finding that all of them don't work. The nice thing as well is the Polish DP6 and DP75 Geiger counters actually come with dosimeter chargers built into them. So if you buy one of those Geiger counters and get a couple of Polish dosimeter pens or any of the Soviet dosimeter pens, you can actually recharge them from your Geiger counter rather than needing a separate dosimeter charger. But yeah, I'm just messing about with this one at the moment to see if I can figure out how this one disassembles. I'm not actually quite sure. Unless the eyepiece can be pushed through. Yeah, I will go off in a second anyway. I was just wondering if any of these bits are actually going to be able to get it off. Because at the moment, I'm not quite sure of this one. If the top comes off and then the rest pulls out, if it pushes out, you know, if it comes out the bottom. Anyway, I'm going off now because I keep getting loads of weird comments and I really can't be asked to read them. But yeah, no stream tomorrow, as I've already said. Because I'm acting. No stream Saturday as I'm acting. Sunday there should hopefully be a stream after I've finished working. Oh, Buffalo Bob was obviously an idiot and couldn't keep it to himself either, so he's gone. But anyway, yeah, see everybody. And yeah, no stream until Sunday at this point. All right, see you all. Goodbye.